Welcome to the Rainbow Push Saturday Morning Community Forum. We've just finished a historic convention. It's our 55th convention, and we are so excited about all of the information that we were able to bring to you. We dedicate the broadcast today to the memory of Richard Trumka, who died suddenly this week. And he was such a friend of the civil rights movement, such an activist for labor, particularly the United Mine Workers. And so we're praying for his family and for American labor. He's been fighting for rights of ordinary people for many, many decades. And so we salute Richard Trumka. May he rest in peace. Today is the anniversary of the 1965 Voting Rights Act, which was made possible in many ways by those who marched from Selma to Montgomery. 1965, President Lyndon Baines Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act. And today we are still fighting for rights that we were fighting for in 1965. We're fighting voter suppression techniques that are launched across individual state legislatures in America. 47 state legislatures have passed laws that restrict, suppress, and almost deny voting rights to many people. We're still fighting for ex-felons to have the right to vote once they've served time in many states in America. Push news briefs. Each and every week we want to give you news that you should be aware of and give you our analysis of some critical issues that we face today. One, you will hear from Bishop Tavis Grant. He's going to talk about the work that he and Reverend Jackson have been doing to address these voter suppression tactics that have been initiated by 47 states across the nation.
This is Bishop Tavis Grant, the National Field Director for the Rainbow Push Coalition. I want to thank you for being a part of our Saturday morning international forum. I want to thank you for joining our many sessions as a part of our international conference this past week. Go to our YouTube page, subscribe to that page, and you can see archived sessions from a week full of information, education, and engagement. Of course, we're coming to you from our work in Austin, Texas, along with Bishop William Barber, Freddie Haynes, and Bishop James Dixon, as we walked a Selma to Montgomery type march from Georgetown, Texas to Austin, Texas, 30 miles.
Voting is our free speech and democracy. We must protect the right to vote. Pass the Voting Rights Act, federal protection. It can no longer be a state's right, it must be a national right for everybody.
I want to thank Bishop Barber and Reverend Jackson for borrowing my legs. I walked all 30 miles as we're pushing to end voter suppression in over 40 states with 300 pieces of legislation across the country. Of course, that work culminated in Washington, D.C., where thousands of persons and activists, pastors, civil rights leaders, and union workers converged on our nation's capital to urge the Senate to end the filibuster. It is the most illegal, immoral, and unconstitutional piece of legislation that has been used against black and brown progress, and we've had enough. I want to thank Reverend Jesse Jackson for meeting this week with Senator Joe Manchin and expressing his moral aptitude, his moral position on ending the filibuster, passing the Florida People's Voting Act, passing the John Lewis Voting Advancement Act, raising the $15 minimum wage. Raising that wage lifts 32 million people to another quality of life and another level of living in our nation as it impacts low to no wage workers. And of course, D.C. statehood. This fight is on, and you want to join it, go to rainbowpush.org or go to Twitter, Instagram, and or YouTube. It's so critical right now as we face the most consequential existential crisis to our democracy. When we win, Democrats win. When we win, democracy wins. And we win, you win. It's always better when we get together. And of course, don't ever forget, we're keeping hope alive. Thank you.
We also join with Congressman ALC and Congresswoman Cori Bush as they are fighting against the lifting of the moratorium on foreclosures and evictions. Why? Because we do not need to increase the number of homeless people on the streets of America.